Hey everyone, just real quick, I want to throw in there that I really hope if you enjoy things on this channel and they enjoy listening to us ramble as a bunch of aging um Gen X millennials, zennials, or whatever the whole term is, I don't really understand. But I would hope if you enjoy listening to us talk and you want to maybe get involved, you let us know. Send messages to the YouTube, send messages to the email, and most of all, like and share the channel. Just a little bit it goes a long way. So thank you so much for checking us out and being here. And I hope to keep doing this as long as you'll allow me to, or as long as I can keep doing it and, you know, enjoy this. Well, it's been 40 years. I think I'm going to continue enjoying this. So thanks for being here, everyone. I truly appreciate it and I truly mean it. Till next time. Hey everyone, welcome to More Than Meets Guys. We are getting back into the UK with the Enemy Within comic series. But first, I want to take a second to tell everyone that Ed had to take a little bit of time off the show. He's having some issues come up, and want to make sure that everyone knows he'll be back whenever he's good to go again. He's always welcome, of course. He's my co-host. Well, aside from Boo here, uh, though he's just having a little difficult time now, so just send the good vibes. Email Edhatestransformers at gmail.com and say, hey man, we got you. Take your time. Pretty much what I told him. So just keep that in mind. And you'll know when I know when he's ready to come back. So anyways,
I'm like the donut you throw on when you're good, nice, fancy tire.
I've
Can't
had to
take
do
it.
that recently, twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're the thing I put on whenever I try to avoid the accident and hit the curb with my week old new tire
I'm
and
only
rip a
good for
hole
like
inside.
50 miles though, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm not don't
Treads are
trust
gone. Shouldn't
I don't
trust me.
trust you with those cars and throw you. Uh so anyways, um I've only been friends with Ed slightly longer than Boo, so that should tell you something. But we're getting in the Enemy Within Part 3. And we are back with editor's letter. Oh, dude, I looked at this page. The editor's column is so hard to read. It's in
Oh,
teal.
yeah, they reformatted it.
It's kind of rough. Um, I actually don't mind the old style. The old style reminds me of back in middle school. Back when they used an abacus and stone tools. We would take and you would make the school newspaper. We would take print out things. We take and cut them out, and then we kind of paste them like a Tetris puzzle almost till they were perfect. Then you do a scan of that. That's how you get your paper. And the original editor's section to this kind of looked more like that. And I kind of appreciated that. So this is fine. It's just, as Transformers fans, we hate change.
It looks
So
like they were low on magenta and yellow.
it does. We'll just pretend it's on purpose. We use all the cyan.
Right?
And yeah, is there basically talking about there's actually kind of a cool contest. Really they're giving away in this issue a Kodak disc camera, which has like two I want to say I don't know if it said they were lithium batteries, but that seems like a little too early concept. I kind of think the nickel cadmium rechargeable batteries, but maybe
Hmm.
I'm wrong. So yeah, it's a disc camera, which is pretty nice for the time, 1985.
I vaguely remember those.
Yeah, and yeah, you get them. You get those with this contest. We'll talk about later in the issue, and also whenever you get letters printed, you get mini bots, which
Yes.
pretty cool little thing there. And I know you've done a little bit checking around about this too, which is kind of neat. I don't know if you want to go into that at all yet.
Yeah, I've heard from some of the people I asked around about, and they asked people and got back to me. And basically, yeah, you'd get a like a one of the small transformers. You get like one of the mini cars like Brawn or Huffer or one of those guys. And then this continued on like I guess into 86 because some people reported getting like aerial bots and protective bots, even like the limbs, not the main pieces, but
Yeah. So no,
yeah,
that's
so
not
you
bad.
get small ones like that. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I saw where Leanne Elliott actually posted in the Transmasters UK group about it and said that she got printed, but they didn't send her anything because she's in the States. So I guess the
Um,
long distance postage.
yeah. That's too
So
bad. But still,
yeah,
Once again, I mean, neat time capsule. This issue I think is full of time capsules, which is really neat about that.
Well, it seems like they really go out of their way in the UK comics to give their fans free stuff. We got like nothing.
Nothing. You got
Nothing.
the if you're lucky, you got those bad 3D glasses on the back of the the issues back in the 80s. Remember those things you sent away for?
Oh yeah.
Really
I mean, you might
bad.
get a no prize if you correct something,
It's
and that's like
The Marvel no prize. Yeah, exactly.
right.
Hey, good
And
job.
man, we got another bad deal in the stock exchange.
There it is. I
It's
saw
like this guy wants Optimus Prime in the trailer,
or
and
Jazz
Jazz or Gears,
for
and
Wind
he wants to
Charger.
give you Wind Charger.
I mean, that seems like a good exchange. Wind Charger, Optimus Prime.
Yeah, for him.
There's another one offering this. Another one that's going the wrong direction. Also offering a Soundwave and Laserbeak with the guns for Jazz. It's not as bad as the Wind
He's
Charger.
being generous.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's going the wrong way. He's got to learn how to negotiate better.
Yeah. Like maybe these two need to get together and you know, it'll either be the best deal ever or the worst deal ever. Depends on which way it
Worst
goes.
deal ever. The art of the deal was not with these guys.
Well,
The
there was always that guy that you'd trade toys with. There's all neighborhood kids would always do
yeah.
that. And there'd always be the one guy that's like, here's a broken Jawa, for your AT-AT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Like, come on, man. Talk to you every day about it.
Yeah.
I had to start avoiding him. We'll walk behind trees and get out of his way so we didn't see you. There's there's I actually the Soundwave plus Laserbeak and the guns and all that for Optimus Prime is not a terrible deal. That actually would have been at least passable.
Yeah.
But
It would have been closer than, Wind Charger.
Charger. Man, like I love me some Wind Chargers with my first Transformer, but yeah, no, that's a bad deal.
Evan's like, I'm not giving it Wind Charger for any Optimus Prime or
Okay, that's actually one of the ones I really am sad about. Like, he's just like pre-rub Wind Charger. He even had one of the legs would come out all the way, like the little tab in there, like when you pull out and you turn it, it kind of broke inside there. So I always had to push the leg back in when I was transformed to car mode.
yeah, it was
And I
common
always,
with that.
yeah, I was. I always wanted to see if I could find my original one, and yeah, it's who knows where it's at. It's probably in some landfill somewhere, unfortunately.
It's
Thanks,
on the
Mom.
shelf behind you hiding.
Dude, I wish. I don't even know if I have a Wind Charger. That's kind of weird. I need to find one of those. But
And
yes,
you can tell the pre-rubs from the rub ones by the color of the red plastic.
really,
Yeah.
is
They're
the
different colors. One is darker and one is lighter. I want to say the pre-rub is a darker red
uh-huh.
and it's a brighter red on the rub sign ones.
Okay, because I know the one I had was almost like a burgundy red, so that
Yeah.
would make sense. Because I've seen them like bright red because I've seen a lot of the rub symbol post rub.
Yeah.
But that's kind of neat. I'll check that out definitely. Um, yeah, but the Decepticon fact file is Laserbeak, which is always a winner.
Yeah. And I like when they, I guess, point this out that he's the interrogator. In the cartoon, he was always
Yeah.
used as a spy, which that was
Mhm.
Buzzsaw's job. But yeah, Laserbeak, he just like beat you up, torture you, and get information from you. He wasn't really the spy as
Mhm.
intended.
Yeah, the fact files a lot of the same way that the GI Joe text or file cards. They
Mm-hmm.
give you so much more personality than you'll ever see because it's a 22-minute toy commercial. Let's be honest. But
Yeah.
I mean these tech specs are always really good. I mean Soundwave, he's always one of my favorites because he was always so sadistic.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean Laserbeak's the same way here.
I
I
always
mean
wanted to see Laserbeak like shut down and panic when his lasers run out of his crystals, the ruby crystals.
Ruby Crystals of Burma.
Yeah, I was saying, do you get those from Burma?
Yeah, shortage of
I
Ruby.
bet he was just overjoyed when they grabbed that mine.
Yeah, no joke. The vulnerability, a shortage of ruby crystals that power the lasers can panic its systems into shutting down. So what would happen? Would he just he'd like run out of power? Would he just freak out and shut down, or would he transform to a tape and fall on the ground?
That's what I was wondering. And you're thinking like an interrogator, so it's like he's giving him the third degree, and it's like, oh, my lasers ran out. Oh no, let me out, guys. He's like banging on the door. You got to get me out of here.
Ding, ding, ding. I've got a green Quaker parrot, and I swear whenever he needs to he wants to change the water, he's pissed about something. You'll hear it go ting 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 over and over. I can imagine this laser be going, dude, guys, come on, ting 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 ting, let me out, come on, Don't let them see me fall apart here. Yeah, then there's this small comic strip called Robo Capers.
Yes.
Now this kind of came out of left field for me. I wasn't aware of this one at all. And it's like a little, little comic strip from a newspaper. Length is like 4 panels.
Yeah, this is the first appearance of the Robo Capers here,
Yeah.
which you'll see a lot more of it as
Okay.
days go on. Because this is made by Lou Stringer.
Why do I know
Okay.
that name?
Well, he started out illustrating fanzines in the 70s
Hmm.
and caught the eye of Alan Moore.
Okay.
And Alan Moore encouraged him, as well as Kevin O'Neill, who was the illustrator for the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and Dave
Mhm.
Gibbons, who illustrated Watchmen.
Hmm.
And they got him to pursue it professionally. And so Alan Moore actually introduced him to the Marvel UK staff.
Nice. Okay.
And yeah, that's how he got involved here. And he worked on another strip called Tom Thug. And then I'm sure you heard of Combat Colin, which he shows up in a lot of
Yeah.
the later UK and in the Action Force, the
Mhm.
British G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
He did Combat Colin for that. He still does stuff for that. He worked on Sonic the Hedgehog comics,
Oh
as well
wow.
as
Okay.
Doctor Who magazine, which he had the Daft Dimension strip in that.
Nice.
And he's still very active and sells his original artwork online,
Very cool. Yeah.
like still
Actually,
very often. So
and you look at this, it very much does look like yeah, fanzine art. Heavy lines, there's not a lot put done at the backgrounds, but the characters are very, I don't know, very cartoonish. But it was, fun little comic.
well, this as this goes on, eventually, like it starts doing crossovers with the Transformers comic itself.
Nice.
And if I recall correctly, at some point Simon Furman actually hijacks the strip. Yeah, there's like a whole little thing like that. We'll get to that though.
I'm sure it'll come eventually.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's next page is there's always great little adverts about things and puzzles and the keys for the word find and stuff. And also this is one we like, I think you and I and also Ed and I talk about these robot books you'd find at like Scholastic book fairs and stuff. There's one of these looking
exactly.
things. 50 facts about robots. I know you found a picture of this one.
Yeah, I found a picture and I looked up the author. Mark
Uh-huh.
Lambert is his name. And he did a lot of light reading topics like book fair type stuff about like
Yeah.
UFOs and ice age animals and stuff like that. Little, the picture books with information in it.
Mhm.
And I found this book online and the prices for it range from like $9 to $150. So it depends on how crazy you are for this.
I
But
mean, yeah.
oddly enough, as I looked up this author,
Mhm.
he had there's another Mark Lambert that was like locked in. I don't know if it's the same guy or if they just kind of grouped him in because of the name. But
Mhm.
on several sites, they had him tied in with a book and a podcast called Cop Talk, which was a true crime podcast that ran from 2010 to 2014, which he ran with his brother Jim, and they were both policemen in California.
Huh.
So you might want to look that up. And I mean,
Yeah, who knows?
I couldn't see anything else that really connected that these are the same guys, but
I
all
mean,
these book sites had them connected.
it's fairly common name, so it could be two different people, but who knows?
Right.
Yeah, it's worth checking out. But yeah, I always love those books. They had these very, I don't know, they're, I would say, like the 70s, early 80s science fiction, almost like watercolor, really nice illustrations. Something I would say the same kind of coloring as is in the UK Transformers.
Oh yeah.
Nice lines, nice coloring, and it was just really neat robot ideas, that things that are more science fiction than they are science fact.
Yeah, I
But
was gonna say if this is the same guy, then he was just right on the cusp of RoboCop. I mean,
he
he was
was
almost he was like one degree of
perfect.
separation from
Yeah.
RoboCop.
Robots, cops. I can put it together somehow. I can't quite fit it together though.
It was that OCP stole the idea from him.
Well, they probably stole the idea and killed whoever had it.
Yeah.
Yep.
How's
Good
he
for
doing? Where is he now?
He's in some warehouse in the cement under Detroit. Or sorry, New
Right?
Detroit.
New Detroit.
Well, yeah, I mean it's like fun little like letters and keys and stuff in this. Like it's kind of common fare at this point.
Yeah, they
So
give you a lot to do. There's a lot of
they do.
activities in these
It's
comics.
this
We
is
we got
almost
the
like
story and then get at
yeah,
it.
it's almost like an activity book more than it's a comic.
Right.
But man, I would love if they had. I know they came on you know cheaper paper or whatnot, whatever it is in the UK Transformers comics than we got in the American ones, but the quality of the actual art in the book so much better. This one
Yeah, it
fantastic.
the paper was thinner, it felt more
Mhm.
fragile, but
Yeah.
the printing quality on it was better. So it was like a weird balance.
Yeah.
Whereas, ours were playing on they're on newsprint and you couldn't get
Yeah.
quite as many colors on it, but it was a
Yeah,
little
knocked it down tough.
sturdier. So
Yeah.
yeah, because I always when I handle my UK comics, I always like feel like I should have like white gloves on and
Yeah,
like
they
it's a museum
actually
piece.
they kind of feel like whenever you get a sales flyer in for like a local drugstore or a Target or something, that kind of really thin newsprint
Oh
kind of
yeah,
feels like.
they reminded me of like the tabloids, like the Inquirer.
That's a good way. Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
that's pretty spot on, I think. But when we returned to the Chromabots, and
Oh
this
yeah.
took a weird turn that I did not expect at all.
It got a little more serious, it seems.
It did, and transmute went from it went from kind of creeper guy, stranger danger guy to oh he's a good dude now.
Yeah, he like picked a hobo disguise. This guy, he was kind of gets the first pretender.
He kind of does actually. So yeah, well, more the pretender like the Japanese shows like
Yeah.
Master Force.
If they had a homeless one, Master Force.
Are the Decepticons back? What? eat your uh eat your can of beans. So he starts off flying, and yeah, explain briefly that the chronobots are chromium men, and particularly his transmutes metallic compounds produce the most beautiful effect. But essentially, he's blingy. He shines in the sun.
He's a blingy T-1000.
He kind of is. It
Yeah.
looks like actually, it looks like something from a I don't know, like the Saiyan shows, the Power Rangers style shows.
Oh yeah, the Sentais. Yeah.
Sentai, not Saiyan. Jesus,
Yeah,
that's
Super
Dragon
Sentai.
Ball.
And
Yeah, Sentai.
I I'm kind of catching like a Mighty Orbots vibe from him.
Oh, very much so. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, because he can do anything. He can, as we'll see in the next issue, he can,
And
be smaller too. But
yeah, because
so
I guess he's full size, like he's a full size human, whereas I guess Micros or
Necros.
yeah, he's a small one. That's why,
Yeah.
he fits in a grocery bag.
Has to make the baklava. So it seems he can telepathically track Mikros also, which it would been really cool if Mikros had been like, hey man, by the way, there's other guys and they can track me down just by where I'm at. So this shopping bag really isn't necessary. But
And
he was
oh,
that
go ahead.
no, he just lands and tells the kid, hey, and Mikros is like, hey, it's cool. We're friends. Don't be
Right?
scared of this guy. And like, well, why didn't you say anything the first time? Um, so and then
It's
trans
all those dramatic pauses they keep making in their
it is
dialogue.
this comic, this little mini comic in this book, so much handling is used for such little story.
It,
It crawls by.
they pause like a telenovela.
They really do.
There'd be a lot of dramatic music, like in between each sentence.
And when my wife and I went down or our honeymoon, we went down to some Mexico for like a resort down there in the Yucatan. That was a great freaking time. But anyways, so what as you do, because there's free drinks and food and stuff here there, so we hit it a little hard one night at dinner, and so we kind of took a lazy day in. And man, those telenovelas are great. I had such a good time watching Mexican soap operas. No idea what was going on, but it didn't matter because
I
it
can
was
say
so
they didn't have it in English, so I know you're
no.
just like
I'm
guessing.
just like I'm making up my own story. Like, well, obviously that's the baby daddy, and that's the pool boy, and we're trying to make up what we figured out. I took French in high school, and that was 100 years ago at this point. So I don't even know any Spanish. So here we
You can
are.
tell who's cheating on whom.
Oh
on there.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I know that's at Banos, and we're good.
But yes.
Um, man, my wife got so pissed off me. I'm like, so when I land, get out of the plane. Who do I say Banos to? She don't say that. Just let me talk. Don't say anything. You say you wave and say hi to the white guy, and that's good enough.
They
Um,
knew.
they knew they see the mark. Um, but yeah, you get a Secret Wars advert. They
Oh
are
yeah.
pimping Secret Wars.
Yeah, it's coming out like right after this, like later the
Yeah.
same month. But I didn't realize like Secret Wars. It didn't seem like it was that soon because I mean, by the time they get to Circuit Breaker, it's Secret Wars 2.
Mhm.
So must have done those like almost back to back.
Probably so. I remember back years ago when I was going to a summer camp back in Pensacola. I was like, God, I don't know. I was probably like 8 or 9, and I
Mm-hmm.
had we bring our Transformers to the summer camp every day. We put them in one of our lunchbox. It's actually how I lost Swindle one time,
Mm.
but Swindle got away from me. But yeah, so
He ran off a
there's
wind charger.
yeah, right. There's a kid talking about the black suit Spider-Man, like he found a marble in this ship. He didn't know what was going on. I guess he probably read his brother's comic or something, didn't
Mm-hmm.
understand what was going on with all that. So yeah, this whole time period, yeah, I feel like there was like I don't know, like this whole jam of all these stories coming out all at once. So
Yeah. Well,
maybe
there's a
so.
lot of rebranding going on under
Mhm.
Shooter,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Secret Wars was his baby. So
Yeah, that's that mess of a book.
I bet he was fun in the sandbox as a kid with like just
Oh,
bring all the toy, bring Godzilla, bring it. We're getting everybody in here.
I mean, I was talking to a friend on the other day on like talking about how Secret Wars is like the junk drawer of Marvel superheroes. It's like it's like, all right, who we have, who's a B and C lister we can just throw in there also.
Oh yeah. I
And
mean, then you got like the first like I guess dedicated Marvel toy line out of
yeah,
it. Yeah, so he was cross marketing. I think they kind of saw what George Lucas was doing with Star Wars and said, we got to get in on that.
which is not a bad thing. And like this is around the same time as Crisis on Infinite Earths came out. DC
Yeah.
was kind of close at the same time. So there's so much going on. I was talking to someone else about this. He's been working in the comic industry for years, and
Mm-hmm.
like for the word is that Shooter and them found out about Crisis coming out, and so
Mm-hmm.
they rushed to get something out there. This is probably like Secret Wars, or they heard about it. They were trying to get it all up for the first one to do it. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of competition right there also. So yeah, the,
Oh yeah,
the,
they
the
always tried to beat each other to punch.
oh yeah,
Like GoBots and Transformers. It was always a race.
GoBots.
Yeah.
That terrible line. Who cares about that? I mean, obviously Transformers came out first, right?
We
Yeah,
shall see. We shall see.
yeah. We shall
So, oh,
see,
and going back to
Tron.
Chromobots real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah, Transmute just like without consent just scans Dudley's whole brain
his
and
Sonic
then
scans
drafts
him.
him into their back their struggle.
He's like, I just did a Sonic scan on you, and I know you can be trusted. Dudley's like, what? Okay.
you
I
know,
mean,
there's probably not a whole lot in Dudley's brain to scan, so
he hasn't hit puberty yet. Probably not.
yeah. So
It's pretty much robots and comic books at this
but
point.
yeah, that was just kind of out of the blue and it's like, well, you could have done that earlier when you were a homeless guy.
Hey, little boy, I know you got a little robot in your pocket.
Right? Come here, I want to talk to you behind this tree.
I got this van over here. It's really a
No.
spaceship, but it looks like a white panel van. The
We had enough of that in Man of Iron.
oh, you're not wrong at all. Mirage. Oh my gosh.
Oh, and Jazz. Here, hop on
Jazz the
in.
stalker.
Yeah, I'll let you drive me, Locke.
Yeah, that's right. Mom. Sammy. Um,
Oh, and speaking of which, we have made a grievous error.
oh, please,
Okay,
Balance.
we've been looking at the artist listing on here, and it says like Mike Collins art, and it'll say like John Ridgway art, but
Mhm.
they have not been doing the colors.
Who's been doing the colors then?
Gina Hart has been the colorist since like Man of Iron and all the British side of things. Like all these wonderful colors we're enjoying is Gina Hart's work.
I was gonna say it's pretty unusual for a artist like the line artist to do all the coloring also because they're working on
Yeah.
the same
So
things.
if you look,
Gina?
it's on there. They have colors listed, but it's like way down by the editor. So that's how we were missing it. We weren't really looking past the lettering. But yeah, Hart's listed. That was Gina Hart, and she's been doing color work for the UK comics since Man of Iron. She's responsible for Megatron resembling his box art, which is why you'll
Hmm.
see him repeatedly with a gold chest. Because if you look at the box art, he kind of has like a yellowish tint.
Yeah, which is
So
probably
I guess it was reflecting whatever they were
yeah.
using.
But I kind of wondered that because when I was looking at the issue, I'm looking at his chest and it looks a little gold, like slightly like it's like a silver gold kind of tint. It's like right in between. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and that's what they're
what?
going for from the box art.
Okay, well, man,
So
honestly, good on them for trying so hard to stay true to the actual colors.
yeah, so she was using the box art as her guide for a lot of the stuff. But she's also known for her work on Rupert Bear and 2000 AD.
Oh,
She did,
nice.
yeah,
Once
she
again,
did a lot of color work in conjunction with John Ridgway, and she worked
oh,
on Judge Dredd, Rogue
nice.
Trooper, Bad Company, Maniac 5, and Doctor Who graphic novels.
So it all comes back to 2080 at the end every time.
Yeah, and she also worked on Transformers UK until Target 2006.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
she did a lot of work for them, and yeah, her colors are really great. So
It does. It has gradients that are nice. I mean, you're looking at a picture of Braun, and there is
yeah,
gradients of orange blending into the yellow, and it's just a really nice job. It's like she didn't fight the shading from the inker and the penciler. She like used it. She accentuated it, which is nice. Sometimes like
yeah, she mixed her tones
yes,
to go
like
right along with the shading
and
and the
I
ink.
get that I give Yamtov a lot of crap because he's using like five colors, but you know I don't know if some people just have this kind of knack to be able to do this sort of this gradient shading.
Well,
And
and you couldn't do this in the American comics because of
no,
the newsprint paper they used. It was a completely different printing process.
yeah, it's too bad. This is
And it's funny though, if you look at the Machine Man comic coming out later, did you see who
oh
was doing the colors on that?
yep. Which is why I uttered his name.
Yeah.
I know
Don't say it
exactly.
three times or
I
he'll
can look.
appear.
What's that?
If you say it three times, he'll appear.
No, I don't want to.
I
He's probably not with us anymore, and I don't want to see that. Um, I don't
think
know.
he's still around.
He might be, yeah. But then again, I don't want to actually have to explain myself why I hate his coloring so much. That'd be really awkward. So no
It's
one
because you
uttered his
don't get
name.
it, man.
I do. I had use what I had. Let's see. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's not even like looking at the like we got script Furman, Art Collins, letters Starkings, colors, heart. There it is.
Yeah,
But hmm, I don't know why. I guess they kind of pushed it down the line a little. I would have thought the colors are pretty important, but what do I know?
maybe the extra U threw us off.
Yeah, maybe so. Anyways, Cran does the editor is the editor. So okay. I don't know who that is. Anyways, this thing starts out like it's part three, crime and punishment. It starts out with Braun is going he's going to ape on all of the Autobots. He's taking down Prowl, he's taking on Gears. There's a red Sunstreaker behind him also.
He slapped the yellow off of him.
He did. I kind of wonder when I saw this if someone had a like some of the Diaclone figures and or say had pictures of the Diaclone, Sunstreaker.
I
And I'm like,
think
oh,
that's what that was
probably
because
so.
originally he was red.
Yeah, he was. And
Yeah.
then Wind Charger, poor Wind Charger, speak of the devil.
Oh,
Is
he's got the sad wind charger eyes back there.
he does. He really does. And,
They managed to make that visor, frown.
he did.
And
Yeah,
did you see
so
who's here that shouldn't be here?
um I see one character that's gonna show up in a second, but who are you talking about?
I thought Gears shouldn't be here. He's still recovering from his
That's a good
damage
point.
from
That's where the
helping
continuity error
Spider-Man
is you're talking about.
rescue. Yeah. So, I mean, you got two options here because he's in two panels. So Gears is definitely meant to be in these panels.
Yeah.
So either gears got better, and then Braun put him back in traction, or it was an error. And I kind of like to think that maybe that's what happened. Is he got better? They can come on, Gears. We need your help real quick. And he didn't even get to tell him about the Decepticons got the fuel formula.
Nah, no
So
reason to.
and then Braun just put him right back into the repair bay.
with his robot claw arms. Bam.
Because Optimus isn't much to really listen to his troops in this comic.
Oh, he's terrible at this.
He tells them to shut up a lot.
He does. He tells people who have really good information to shut up.
Yeah, hold on, I'm watching my stories.
Yeah, he is really he's bringing forth some of that Ultra Magnus energy. I don't have time for that right now.
Yeah.
And man, so Braun beats the heck out of all of the Autobots. He's like, the Autobots have fallen. None can challenge the might of Braun.
Oh yeah, he uppercuts Prowl.
Oh man, yeah, Prowl's around.
And I mean, I'm assuming that Bumblebee got some too, because he's kind of in the background on the second panel, just kind of
isn't he?
sitting there. He's not even like standing up, or he's kind of short, so maybe not. But
he's right standing there like, man, this flap where my head is going to snap right off. I'm just going to lay down.
Yeah. He just taps out. He doesn't even get hit.
Yeah. But we have a little cameo by a later season 2 Autobot.
Well, yeah, this is his intro.
Yeah, this is his intro into the it's kind of early though, I would think, for Red Alert, but here he is.
It was, but it works with the comic.
It does.
Well, and if you don't mind me getting ahead a little bit, because this happened in the US comics, but when they introduced like Smokescreen and Inferno and all those guys, they left Red Alert out.
Huh.
Yeah.
So it actually kind of works.
Get to that, watch, and I mean, you can even go look at the US comic. They left Red Alert out, so it works. It doesn't interrupt the continuity.
Well, there you go. See, they screwed up one continuity almost. They made up for the next one.
Came out smelling like a rose.
Or like a Red Alert.
And this was in '85 when this was being printed, so
that's true. But
yeah,
they hadn't even brought in Insecticons yet.
Right.
Nothing.
And oddly enough, Red Alert is pretty on model, whereas Sideswipe's kind of been like on and off.
Red Alert looks very much like the Sunbow model. It's really, really good. Besides the fact that they draw the panels for his legs and as a robot mode, it looks really nice. You can almost see the chrome on the toes.
And this is not the Sunbow Red Alert,
but it looks a lot more like that.
Oh, I meant personality wise.
Oh yeah, no.
Because he totally sucker punches Braun and takes him down.
Cold cocks Braun, knocks him down, and then all you see is this big this Batman, the old live action series, bam, panel, and he's on the ground. And
I mean, Sunbow Red Alert would have just whined about it and thought that Braun was going to take his job.
Yeah.
You
wouldn't understand me. So Ratchet in his very toy centric mode walks up and is like, "Hey, well done." And then he's like, he goes over and hits Braun with a neural tranquilizer.
Yeah.
Which gives another big shock and basically tases him.
And he says he doesn't know what it'll do. He's using experimental treatments.
This is totally oh gosh. What the Autobot mad scientist
Wheeljack.
This is a Wheeljack move here.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I don't know what this does, but let's just try it.
Tiny brains.
Right?
just like real dinosaurs. Oh man.
And Optimus was like, well, we had no choice but to, electrocute him after he was already knocked out. So
yeah. And Optimus Prime picks up Braun and just he baby carries him like a little kid.
Yeah.
Out of the downtown area of St. Petersburg. It's like, we better get out of here before all the authorities show up. We don't want to have to deal with them. Leaves downtown St. Petersburg like a wreck.
Oh yeah, he ditched because the cops are on their way. I mean, and it didn't give any information or anything. I mean, Nothing. There's just a pile of burning cars all the way down the street. All the storefronts are wrecked.
Yeah. And there's a whole parking lot full of wrecked cars.
No wonder no
You
one in the comics likes Transformers, no matter what side they're on. They're all mad at them.
know, Circuit Breaker is actually there in St. Petersburg. Um, she was at a tanning salon, like all robots must die.
Look at this.
Um,
What? That's probably, later we'll get into the BlackRock uh oil
yeah.
platform. It's got weapons on it. This kind of stuff is why it has it on.
Oh yeah,
They're armed.
100%. This is why, 100% why. Okay, not it's not the same continuity I know, but this is one of the things I really liked about uh the later on Transformers movies. They weren't great by any means, but like there was, I think it was there may have been Age of Extinction where they basically have a bounty on any Transformer because they
Yeah.
have a Remember Chicago signs up. That was a really cool touch, very dark touch, and
Yeah. Some
that's
people don't forgive and forget.
no. Well, you certainly don't hear. But so yeah, that was a really cool thing, to have that with BlackRock coming in. It makes a lot of sense in the grand scheme of things, building world building here as we were.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just Optimus Prime is this just sweet, like, I got you, bro. And like people are screaming, they're panicking behind him, and they all walk out. They don't transform. They all walk out of St. Petersburg.
He's nice to Braun because he's not talking.
Yeah.
Because
You know,
everyone that talks, he tells them to shut up.
Ron, you're my favorite. Y'all talk. Uh, so back at the Decepticons, Starscream is being pursued by Thundercrack and Skywarp. And Megatron is big mad. He's on there proclaiming that his crimes against his fellow Decepticon Ravage, and he is sentenced to utter destruction. He is big mad, which,
Hey, you don't mess with somebody's cat.
no, apparently not.
You hurt somebody's pet, and they're coming after you.
And then my wife would someone mess with our cat. But yeah, though Thundercracker makes sonic boom, like he does. It was the funny thing. I use this book a lot for to get some kind of like goofs and errors and stuff like this. Got it years
Mm-hmm.
ago. Nice little book. A lot of cool information in it. The like notable things they said Thundercracker uses sonic boom. I'm like, dude, he's already done that. That's his whole thing. He did
Yeah,
that
they
like
really like using their powers in the comic.
oh, they
They
loved.
showcase them,
Yeah.
which we may have gotten it just a couple times in Sunbow, but not as much as in the comic.
Yeah. But yeah, so he does a sonic boom and like Skywarp uses his ability to come up in front of Starscream, starting firing on him.
Yeah, he teleports
Yeah,
because they couldn't
works.
catch him because Starscream's the fastest seeker, so
Yeah.
they had to use their little bag of tricks to get him down.
And he fires on him, knocks Starscream out of the sky, and Starscream goes and crash lands. And they kind of transform midair, and Megatron comes out of like a Thundercracker's cockpit, like he
Yeah.
did during I would say during like issue 3 or 4, I think too. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. One
Yeah.
of the things they've established, he rides in the cockpit, transforms, and he's down there.
And man, Starscream came flaming down. Like he was just
He was,
engulfed in flames when they
yeah,
got done with it.
yeah, and like Megatron's back at him, and it's like he immediately sentences Starscream to obliteration beyond all possibility of reanimation. I mean, he is freaking going all out. He is scorched earth on Starscream.
Well, and think about it, he called it. Because I mean, who's the number one reanimator run among Transformers?
Oh, I was going to say the same thing, actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. He
We can't have you coming back again and again and
and
again.
again and again.
Yeah, and then like yeah, Starscream's like, hey, hold on. He pulls a reverse Uno card. He's like, hold up. I demand a trial by combat.
Yeah, he pulls a Tyrion Lannister.
He does. And like Megatron's like going, well, and like Thundercracker and Skywarp are like, well, he's not wrong. I mean, I do it too. Like, all right, fine. Megatron
And
is
it shows that there is some sway. Megatron's just not like I guess a demagogue where he doesn't listen to anyone. He actually cares somewhat about what his troops say and do and what they think.
yeah, Megatron is starting to be written as kind of a hothead, but he can be reasoned with, which I think comes into play later as we go into a Megatron story in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
He becomes more unhinged. But man, like hey, Megatron's toy head or his robot head here is very toy accurate. It is like he's got this the back of the gun slope on the back of the head.
Yeah, the gun kibble.
Collins, yeah, Collins did a really good job of going and accentuating all the robot forms. I mean, obviously Brawn and Gears and Windcharger, they're very simplistic, like the toy is. But I mean, Megatron, you can see all the little, panels and like slopes behind the head and whatnot.
Well,
But
the forehead crown is very
yeah,
prominent.
oh, it was very prominent. Oh, they're so prominent. I think it was in this issue, maybe in the next one. There's a point where I think there's supposed to be smoke on one side of the crown, shiny. It almost looks like
Hmm.
there's an afro on the side of the head. Um, because it's all swirly, but it doesn't show on the side of the head. It was a really a weird
Yeah, I
line
think
art.
that's on upcoming page.
Yeah, it didn't. It's yeah. We'll get into that. But yeah. So it was just nice seeing that very very toy accurate head. But back at the
Hmm.
arc again, we're back there again. It jumps back and forth. Furman's really big about jumping back and forth a lot with the story, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
Braun seems to have no memory of what he did and doesn't know why he's being held.
Yeah, so the experimental treatment worked.
Yeah, good
So
job,
I guess,
Wheeljack. I mean, Ratchet.
yeah, Ratchet. Yeah, good on Ratchet.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to do, but I'll do it anyways. Ratchet's trying to figure out, things out. He really doesn't have a clear solution because he doesn't know how it worked, or if it did work, or if Ron's just saying this or whatever.
Yeah, it
This
might
one,
have cured him.
yeah, we don't. And Optimus like, what do you mean might have? You need to give me clear answers. And yeah, that's when Mirage is like, hey, Optimus, I got to talk to you. But Optimus Prime's like, no, not right now. You just do your thing, whatever you need to work on. Do it. And he's like, no, seriously, dude, listen to me. I have something very important to tell you.
He just doesn't care about anything that Mirage has to say
No,
until
and
Mirage
Mirage is,
corners him.
yeah, he's like he's the redheaded stepchild all of a sudden.
You
Um,
again? What now?
and
Stop
Mirage
talking to
has
me
like,
about Minecraft.
yeah, let's go talk about Roblox. The honestly, the faces on like Mirage, on Megatron, on Starscream, they are starting to get that very UK feel of being very almost like a human, but they have any human features on the like chin and mouth and such with
Right.
whatever visor or whatever they have.
The parts that would move.
Yeah, like if
Yeah.
you were watching, the mouth would move. It looks like almost like you're having a person under a mask kind of thing. But and
Hmm.
I know there's been a lot of derisiveness or divisiveness through the years about that kind of style. I like it because you're able to give a lot of expression where you couldn't usually in the past.
Right.
Especially Megatron. I mean, Megatron, they give him a very much a him and Starscream actually they do this both a bit. They how like in the old Spider-Man comics, it would give the Green Goblin this very pointed chin, very high cheekbones, a very almost like a longer
Hmm.
face. They did the same thing to him here and Starscream, except
Yeah, I was saying
Starscream.
they got fashion model cheekbones.
They do, but that's also a very stark villain kind of look. I really dig it.
Yeah, it
Anyway,
looks
sorry for
great.
my little side tangent there. But yeah, so Optimus finally listens to Mirage. They don't give a hint of what's going on here yet with the
They don't
Mirage.
let us listen to Mirage though.
Yeah, yeah. Optimus Prime's like, no, no, no. This is my turn to listen to him. Y'all, next panel. Um, the it was one of those things that it was nice to hide that little, what was coming up thing. But we're led to believe that something happened whenever Braun got shocked.
Right,
Uh,
like it did something to Mirage as well, who was working with Braun. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we didn't see that effect. But yeah, so
OSHA could
that's
have stopped this whole situation.
yeah. Um, yeah, and back at the Decepticon headquarters, man, Megatron's watching like old videotapes about about these battles to the death, these trial by combat.
Yeah, he's watching home movies.
He kind of is. There's
Yeah,
there's two Decepticons. One was a traitor. I can't remember the other one. They both were like guilty of something.
yeah. One was a rebel and one was a traitor.
Yeah, rebel and traitor. So one his name is Tornado. The other one's Earthquake. Guess what they do? Um, yeah, guess what their powers are. So he watched this video and it's a pretty brutal fight too. These two go at it until they both die.
Yeah, they wreck each other, and they both die. None of them survive. So really, Megatron's in the back room watching snuff films.
He totally is.
Yeah,
This is completely a Decepticon snuff film kind of thing to do. So yeah, he's like looking at thinking like, well, that would be a great solution if they both kill each other off. But just in case, I've got to hedge my bet a little bit here.
Well, he's trying to figure out like, okay, well, who can we send to fight
Yeah,
Starscream that will die too?
yeah.
Like,
And Ravage is like, "Hey, boss. Yeah, so I heard something.
I was
Um,
watching some TV.
yeah, Ravage is quickly being the MVP of this story arc. I mean, he's carried the story.
Yeah, he has.
Um, even like, into the next issues, he's a very important part. He's like, "Look, I heard something's going on with Braun, so let's give Optimus Prime a call and see if we want to work together on this. We can come to a common solution. If it doesn't work out, we can take care of things." So Megatron calls Optimus Prime to the arc. He's like, Optimus Prime, hey, look, you have a problem. I have a problem. I have a solution. And knowing that,
Forget about it.
yeah, knowing that Braun would jump at the opportunity to clear his name and like look good in front of Optimus Prime again. And Optimus realizes this. He's like, man, you only see the gears working in his head. Like, okay, I know this is a trap, but because I'm such a nice guy, I've got to give him the chance to say yay or nay. So, of course, he
And
tells Braun,
Megatron seems to have a better grasp of the psychology of the Autobots than Optimus does.
oh yeah, 100%. And yeah, so that's what we have. We have of course, Braun jumps up and says, "Yes, yes, yes, I'll do it. Whatever. I want to look
Yeah, he
good."
wants to redeem himself.
Yeah, he wants to look good in front of Optimus Prime again. So, and once
I
again,
goofed.
this whole sequence, there's this back to color again. Megatron's like chin has gotten longer and pointier. It
Hmm.
is such a comic book villain chin. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
he's got like Mephisto chin.
oh, he totally
From
does. I really like that. That you can tell these people have their techniques, and it shows really well with this.
and the toy kind of had that kind of look to it too on the
A
face.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
It's I mean, little lump right here. But
yeah,
yeah, it was very accentuated in this. So yeah, of course they have a whole thing set up. He's like, all right, look, I'll do it. There's two conditions. And Megatron's like, yes, I got this. It has to be remote, which makes sense. They don't want to hurt anyone else.
yeah,
And and then on top of that, they want to go and he says we can have like a watcher, like someone who can like kind of look after, if something happens, we can they can jump in and kind of call it whatever. They'll be
yeah.
there.
They want to make sure it's done fairly.
Yeah, and this is where Optimus Prime shows he's kind of thinking a little, little more deviously than he's putting out, because he knows there's something going on with the Mirage. They can help out. It's very it's
Yeah,
very
whatever
heavy metal war.
Mirage's secret is, it's kind of their ace in a
Yeah.
hole, apparently.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's their trump card, if you will. It's one of those things where it almost feels like heavy metal war, where the Decepticons are all like, "Hey, we're gonna do all these things, and we're gonna give them all their powers. We're gonna let them cheat." And the Autobots should know what's going on, but at least in this, they do. I realize there's something up, and they're gonna use Mirage. Mirage is like also less creepy now. I guess he's not sneaking around little kids' bedrooms at night or windows or
I think everyone that doesn't do that is less creepy.
yeah, yeah. Good way to redeem himself right here. Kind of.
He needs this as much as Braun does.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But yeah, we have this is after this whole thing happens, they work out the deal. It goes into the next issue. So, but we have this get snap happy, win a Kodak disc camera. So this is kind of a neat thing. They really, the wording of this is kind of rough. They made it sound like they're inviting kids to paint the side of their house.
Yeah,
Of course, there's a side of a house, like a silhouette of a short side of a house with a little chimney and stuff at the top. But the way the thing
yeah,
reads, like, oh, okay, send pictures of your painted house. No, no, don't do that.
yeah.
Kobe was,
It sounds like they're inviting kids to do
yeah,
graffiti,
yeah. I was reading
which
that
that's what
going,
I did. Instead of drawing in the house, I just went and like
yeah, painted
tagged.
the
And,
side of the house. Makes sense.
yeah, the
You
neighbors are
know,
mad.
at least it wasn't your house.
Yeah, no, that'd be like work.
Yeah.
Paint my own house. Ugh.
Oh, actually, yeah. There also is another ad for the Time Warrior watch.
Yes, this is the one we were promised, and
Yes.
I guess I was expecting the next issue, but it's in this one.
Yeah.
And I did a little bit of digging on this too. because okay, well, issue 13, Anthony Temple said we'd get this, and it's a really
Mhm.
nice looking ad. We never saw this ad
Mm.
in the U.S. at all. We just
Oh,
got the
no.
little insert that came with the toys, with the reinforcements from Cybertron.
Yeah.
So on this, and I mean, it's well drawn. The colors are great in it, but it was £4 and 49 pence, I guess. So basically, in the 50 pence was for postage. So it was really like $3.99.
Yeah.
So I was looking at our reinforcements from Cybertron flyer, and they
Mhm.
charged us $10 for this thing.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, and 6 robot points,
Hmm.
whereas
This is
theirs
two,
is
right?
£4 and
Four.
4 robot points. So I had to do a little digging because I love the inflation calculators and all that.
Yeah.
So I looked at the exchange rate in 1985 between the British pound and the US dollar.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, well, first of all, we're spoiled for delivery also because it says 28 days get it
It's not
delivered.
Amazon
It's like,
kids.
yeah. So nowadays we're really spoiled, but they got a way better deal than we did because $10, 6 robot points. And then the exchange rate for the British pound in April of 1985, when this came out, it hit a historic low of a
No.
$1.05 to a pound. So it's almost
Wow.
a 1-for-1. So they
No
saved
reason.
$6 and 2 robot points on it.
There's no reason for it to be this expensive or this
Right.
just for us.
And then to adjust it for inflation so we can get an idea now, it was the equivalent of $30 if you're in the US for the Time Warrior watch,
Yeah.
but in the UK you'd pay $12.50 for it.
Which, considering what it is, it's still a little overpriced, but yeah.
Oh yeah, but I mean, could you imagine if we had to pay $30 for a little digital watch, and then if you're in UK, you got it for $12,
Yeah. Nope.
and the pound still has not recovered from that dip completely.
No, it's we're like honestly the one of the strong points of the American dollar is it's kind of worked its way into being, you know, pretty much the basis of most all other currencies around the world. So,
And that's actually what caused the pound to tumble was the dollar strengthened.
yeah.
I dug through several economic pages on this to see what was the deal with it, and yeah, the U.S. dollar strengthened and it dropped the pound
Hmm.
from, I guess in 1980 it was $2.40 for 1 pound, and dropped it all
Wow.
the way down to $1.05. So it was a huge dip.
Hmm. Yeah, the I mean, remember the when we were collecting earlier at earlier points, the yen was so upside down also. We used to be able to get like, Japanese stuff for dirt cheap.
Oh yeah,
It
in
was
the
like
mid 90s, especially late
oh
90s,
yeah. Oh yeah. Any of
all
that.
that Beast Wars 2 stuff.
Oh God. If you found a reliable person to order from, you can get that, stuff for like this the prices they have on like a deluxe nowadays in stores. I
Yeah.
mean, you can pretty much get a, 2-pack from Beast Wars the second stuff. Yeah, it's just the way things change. They've rectified the yen a lot now, so it's closer, but still. Um. Anyways, yeah. So, like I said, great art. Honestly, if you looked at the reinforcements from Cybertron little booklet, which I've got a few of them around here, and I know you do as well, it looked terrible. That was like the consolation prize. Like I can't afford to get one of the Omnibots, so I'll get one of this guy.
Oh yeah, and I think it was actually more expensive than the Omnibots. Let me see, I got it right
No,
here.
are you
So it
sure?
was, yeah, Omnibots were $5 and 4 robot points each.
God, there's no reason for that.
So the digital watch, that you press the chin and it opens up,
Mhm.
yeah, it was like worth 2 Omnibots.
Nope.
And I
I
mean, this thing is like incredibly rare to find in like working condition now. Like to find it mint, that's
Mhm.
we looked it up. It was like what, $500 to $1,000.
Yeah. It's like I guess if you took your battery out back then and put it back in a box so it didn't like corrode inside the battery or
And I
inside the
think that's what
box.
happened to a lot of them. Is they never took
Oh
the
yeah.
battery out and it corroded it and ruined the electronics
It's what we have with
inside.
a
So
lot of older Transformers now, the ones that have like automated things like Omega Supreme and like Triptychon and things like that.
Trypticon. I've
Yeah, I
opened up Trypticon tails and found like exploded what was it, C batteries in there.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, D
These are
batteries
needs.
one of them.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just like one of the things I mean kind of makes it special, but I don't know, kind of for the wrong reason. Because we people didn't think ahead. Like we didn't think in like 40 years we'd be like looking at these again or looking for them.
Oh,
But
none of this stuff was meant
no,
to be got gone over. These comics, the toys, nobody thought they'd still be talking about them now.
yeah,
This was, make the money now and go on with it because they were
yeah.
just running with it, whatever was trendy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
And you know what? I feel like people nowadays they get current Transformers and they get mad that the plastic yellows or whatever after like a short period of time, and it's it's kind of a crappy thing to happen when we have toys that are 40 years old that are still looking pretty sharp. It was just
oh yeah,
because they were just using whatever they had around. I mean, we've talked before about the fact that the reason they used so much die-cast metal back then is because the oil crisis
yeah.
happened right
The
before
plastic
this.
was got real expensive.
Yeah, die-cast metal. I mean, you can go to any store, like any kind of like little corner store, and get like a 5 pack of cars that were pretty much all metal for like a couple bucks.
Yeah, it was cheap.
Yeah.
And really it wasn't until I want to say the early 2000s with, the war on terror and all that that metal prices got expensive.
I mean, it's kind of like how things were, and it's not the same thing. I get it because it's a different time frame, but how at the during when we got into World War II, we were scrapping every little bit of metal we had, scrap metal, of
Hmm.
course, nylons for parachutes and things like that. When we get in the War on Terror, those prices because people are now thinking like, well, if they want this metal, they're going to have to pay a little more now.
Right.
It's kind of for different reasons, but yeah, the same kind of thing. There's plenty of supply, but they made it seem as much like it wasn't. Anyways, I'll get off that soapbox. But get back into the last issue of last page of this issue. Really great choice of writing for the end of this. Megatron tells Ravage what he do what he must do what he must do if Starscream wins, and Optimus tells Mirage to use what his secret is to good use. And so there's this big, splash with like all the lines coming out from the center, like there's a big action scene. Braun yells for the Autobots. Starscream, right on cue, proclaims for myself.
Right.
Perfect. I mean that was his character in a nutshell.
And it
So,
really sounds like Megatron's setting it up that, no matter what happens, Starscream's gonna
oh
lose.
yeah, no
Yeah.
matter what happens, Starscream's going to go down. He
Because
just
I
wants
mean,
to.
Ravage's function as a saboteur. So I mean,
Yep.
and he hates Starscream right now. So
Oh, but yeah, he tried to kill him.
yeah.
I mean, someone tried to kill me like that and gloated about it. I don't know if I could be like nice about it.
You know how it is. You make a cat mad once, and they never forget.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, also besides that, you have kind of that building of the animosity. What I like about this issue a lot, you have that building of animosity between different characters. And
Hmm.
like you're starting to see relationships how they're building. And you really see what Megatron is good at. He is really good at being like very like use force and being up front, but he's actually getting more tactical in his thinking. He's thinking like ahead a few steps now,
Yeah.
which you don't always see out of the cartoon, which is nice.
And he's not directly confronting the threats to his power. He's
Oh,
using his underlings against each other.
yeah, he's yeah, exactly. He's also getting Ravage in on it.
Yeah.
He's like,
Well, that's the
Ravage,
one he can trust.
yeah, Ravage, you're loyal to me. You're one of the smartest ones I have on the side. So here's what I want to do. And Ravage is like, you got it, boss.
It's kind of funny when you think about it because it's like the cassettes and Soundwave were usually the most loyal to Megatron.
Mhm.
Those are the guys from Microchange. It's like they all served together in Microchange. And the
Well,
Diaclone guys are the ones you got to worry about.
so actually, something else that kind of included me in here, and I saw him once in this issue, which is why I'm kind of noticed it. We used to in the Sunbow cartoon, the tapes are always associated with Soundwave. They're all tied to his hip all the time.
Right.
None of them in this one are. Like Laserbeak, Ravage, Buzzsaw, they're all kind of doing their own thing, and you hardly see Soundwave.
Yeah. I mean, he does this thing with them every once in a while, but
Yeah, he's
they're
like in
not
the
just hanging out inside him all the time.
no, he's in the background of one panel on this in this issue. That's the only time I saw him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
I
telling.
think the Sunbow cartoon was really just playing up the play pattern of
Oh yeah,
Soundwave with
100%.
ejecting cassettes.
Whereas this would really get into the personality of them and like basically make them their own robot instead of part of Soundwave.
Well,
So
and it's harder to, I guess, illustrate the cool factor of them jumping out of his chest.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Ooh, we are back to Machine Man.
Speaking of cheap metal,
Yeah. Okay, look, I actually really kind of had fun with the last issue, and this issue just went back. It went back 100%. We're back to
it's the crazy mustache and eyebrows. It was like if you dyed Lemmy red, you had Baron Brimstone.
yeah,
So that's half of the enjoyment. Yeah, it's just an over the top villain.
yeah, and well, he's also part Wolfman, part off the Vegas Strip magician, and
Right.
has a ray gun. Um, the yeah, but so this the whole thing, man, the writing, DeFalco, oof, buddy.
Oh
Um,
yeah. And did you notice the credits at the first page?
I looked at him. What did you notice about them?
Okay, they did like some silly credits.
Oh, they
Like
always
it's
do.
like, yeah, Tom DeFalco, writer of renown, uh Steve Ditko, best artist around, Peter Kirsch, master of calligraphic sound,
Yeah,
Nell
yeah.
Yomtov, makes the colors abound.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, and Dennis O'Neill, editor, quite profound, and then Jim Shooter is an extremely tall clown. And then if you look below, Shooter promised revenge. He's like, these guys apparently think I'm too lazy to read the credits these days. Well, just wait, they'll get theirs next issue.
Yeah,
So they've got a little, I
they're
guess,
just trying to see
comedic
what they can get away with.
rivalry going there.
Yeah,
But yeah, and see, we've got Yomtov and Denny O'Neill, who was integral into creating the Transformers. So you've got
yeah,
like a lot of Transformers guys working on this. You got Shooter, O'Neill, and Yomtov.
yeah, yeah. They do.
So it seems like the
It's
further we get in, I guess the closer the ties to Transformers there are.
yeah, it's rough still. But
Yeah. It's
the
still Machine Man though.
yeah. Oh, DeFalco is introducing Madame Menace, quite possibly the most fascinating female you'll ever meet.
No.
No, no.
And it's always weird when they show these like, I guess, preview pages. Like here, it's like I guess a Pulp Fiction type thing where it's all like it's non-linear.
Hmm.
It's like the pause like, hey, you'd never guess how I wound up in this situation.
He does actually. That's actually a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Like, well, let's go back a few hours. And yeah, he's still trying to establish a link to his missing arm. But he's attacked by stragglers of the Sinister Satan Squad.
Yeah, these guys are still hanging out. The
You know,
stragglers are still down there causing
if he
trouble.
had, if he had landed the helicopter and landed the police helicopter, maybe this could have all been averted.
And I mean, they had a lot more guys in the Sinister Satan Squad than they really let on. Like there was like a
Yeah,
couple guys on the roof, and then like a couple guys up in the copter. But man, there's like,
I mean they're mooks still. So
but
yeah,
they got like hallucinogenic gas grenades. Like they got Joker weapons.
yeah, they do. This is a Bronze Age comic in a very Silver Age wannabe format.
Right. It's very transitional.
Oh yeah, very much
And
so.
I mean, right away he's trying to contact his arm, and it's already like he can't get signal. So either he's got really short range, or
Something's
whoever stole
happening.
his arm was like moving. They got out of there quick.
Yeah, but actually, we have a really neat diversion in this issue with they have this comic that tells a rescue of from the submarine Squalus and
Oh yes,
using the diving bell of Commander McCann. You did a little more looking into this.
boy did I.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so the story we get from it's the Tales from the Transformers Fact Files, which you expect this to be something Transformers related,
Yeah,
but it's not.
not at all.
This is actually from a Belgian comic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was actually it was from Tintin.
Looking at the art, I can see that.
Yeah, and they translated it into English, for this. But yeah, this is originally from a Belgian and French comic.
That's kind of cool.
And the story they tell us is the submarine Squalus was off Portsmouth, New Hampshire, had
Mhm.
electrical fire and water in the machine room, and it sank the submarine to the floor about 240 feet down.
Mhm.
Okay. Storm delays the rescue ships, and the USS Sculpin found the sub's distress flares. They'd been down there for over a day. It was like 27 hours.
Mhm.
Okay. The diver descends, knocks on the hull of Squalus, and the submariners knock back to let them know they're alive. Okay. So they send the diving bell down, and it says all hands rescue. Like all 33 of them are rescued.
Mhm.
Okay. And the Squalus is repaired and refitted and renamed the Sailfish.
Mhm.
Okay, Sailfish then fought in World War II and notably sank a Japanese ship, killing the enemies, but also U.S. Marines who had been taken prisoner by the Japanese. And those Marines were from the Sculpin, the ship that discovered the Squalus when it sank all those years before.
Hmm.
Okay, it's an interesting story, nothing to do with Transformers.
Yeah.
So here's the research at it. I actually researched the actual story.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So the sinking of the Squalus happened on the 1st of March, 1939. Okay, according to
Okay.
the Navy's website, it had catastrophic valve failure that caused it to sink.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and it took them 13 hours to rescue the crew.
Oh,
The
just 13.
Squalus
Okay.
was, yeah, the Squalus was decommissioned on the 15th of November, 1939,
Okay.
and then renamed the Sailfish on the 9th of February, 1940, and then recommissioned on the 15th of May, 1940. Okay, 33 survivors were rescued, but 26 men died
Oh,
when it sank.
oh, they didn't say that part.
Yeah, they left out that entirely. But yeah, 26 men died, and they think most of them died instantly when they, I
Pressure.
guess, had the water come in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Pressure of the
the
water getting in.
Sailfish, which it was renamed, went through the Panama Canal to work in the Pacific.
Mhm.
This is pre-World War II,
Yeah.
but it was at Pearl Harbor when it was attacked and survived the attack.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now we're going to the Sculpin. Okay, this
Okay.
is the Sculpin story, and this is not in here at all. This is what I found out about the Sculpin. Okay, on the 18th of November, 1943, in the midst of World War II, the
Mhm.
Sculpin attacked a fast convoy and engaged with the destroyer. Depth charges forced it to rise to the surface and was hit by shells from the destroyer, killing most of its bridge crew. The order was given to abandon ship, and the submarine was scuttled, and the captain, Cromwell, and 11 other men stayed on the sub to guide it down to the bottom of the Pacific to make sure that the enemy forces couldn't get any of the sensitive information that the sub was carrying.
Mhm.
So they went down with the ship. It's like they made a suicide mission to let the 42 guys escape.
Mhm.
And, they didn't want any of the intelligence to get found by the Japanese. So they took it all the way down to the bottom of the Pacific. Okay. So 42 guys were taken prisoner, and one was immediately thrown overboard as he was severely injured, quote unquote, severely injured. So, okay, one other escaped being thrown overboard by the crew of the destroyer by fighting his way free and rejoining the other captives.
Wow.
Okay, so out of those 41, they were taken to an island called Truk, which is sometimes called Chuck. Yeah,
Okay.
in Micronesia, where they're interrogated. After 10 days, they were loaded on what they said 2 carriers for transport to an unofficial Navy prison camp.
Okay.
Okay, the Sailfish torpedoed one of those carriers, the one called the Chuyo, on the 31st of December, 1943. So on New Year's Eve, and it was carrying 21 of the survivors. They had 20 on one ship and 21 on the other, and only one of the survivors of the Sculpin survived that attack. All right.
Okay.
So they were taken to a prison camp on Ofuna, where they were questioned again and slowly released to a work camp. Those 21 sailors remained prisoners in a Japanese copper mine at Ashio until it was liberated by Allied forces on the 4th of September, 1945.
Jeez.
Okay, so the book Silent Victory,
Mhm.
the U.S. Submarine War Against Japan by Clay Blair from 1975 explains that the Sculpin crew members that were killed by the Sailfish's attack were not the same crew that rescued the Squalus.
Hmm.
Same ship, different crew 4 years later.
Yeah, makes sense.
But, same ship.
Yeah.
So that was the coincidence. And the naval record also made note of the coincidence that it was the Sculpin that saved the Squalus before, and half of its crew
Selfish.
4 years later was killed. Now,
Hmm.
there is a note on the last page of the story that
Yeah.
cites raising the squalus, okay, as like a source of their information. There is no such publication. Nobody knows what they're citing.
Hmm.
So that's a mystery. If that exists, nobody knows where it is or what it is.
Okay. Well,
So
interesting.
yeah, I mean, it was a pretty heavy story, especially with like, the captain of the Squalus and 11 of his men, taking it down to the bottom, riding it all the way down.
That's pretty dark, but I mean, that's what you had to do, I guess.
Yeah, it's like Charge of the Light Brigade type
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah. But and
So
those
yeah, that's the true story behind it.
the one in there it made it a lot more heroic and less deaths. So
Yeah.
it was a nicely drawn comic. It looked really cool. I like to give the description of the diving bell they used to rescue the people in the Squalus. Cool stuff.
Yeah, that was a really neat diagram in there of that.
Yeah.
And it was very novel too, because I mean, this was in 1939 when they rescued those guys, and this is still listed in a lot of places as like the greatest submarine rescue ever.
And okay, they have a we went on our anniversary to a up somewhere in the mountains. There is this place called Dahlonega. And
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of Dahlonega they have a diving bell that they used in like to like locally mine for gold in the waters around there. And that was a small diving bell. That thing is huge. I can imagine the size of the diving bell they used on this. It
It was
was
very small. In fact, it's
really
smaller than what they illustrated here. It was actually far more cramped from what I was able to
okay.
look
It might have
up.
been about the same size as diving bell then. That's kind of interesting. I mean, it's
Yeah,
big
it
for
was
like
nowhere
looking at
near
it,
as
but I'm
roomy.
sure for what they're doing, it was small.
Yeah, and when I say it took them 13 hours to rescue them, that was after they got the diving bell there. It took them that long to
Oh,
bring the crew up.
well, considering also pressure sickness and everything too.
Yeah.
But so yeah, well, back to Machine Man. Unfortunately, he really freaks out Pamela and asks her about the arm. She's just like, whoa, 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 I don't know who you are, man. You saved me, but what's up? She says she was like dazed and terrified, when like because he's trying to find out what happened to the arm. I used it to save you. She's like, I don't know, man. Look, I came down, I was out of it. I was gonna die being thrown out of the helicopter.
She was
Uh,
just no help at all, basically.
no, she does not remember what happened. The police show up and say that he has no time for the police and they're bumbling bureaucracy. God, I can't say that. Bureaucracy. And he takes off.
He pulls an Optimus. Cops are
He does,
coming. We
he
got a jet.
twice this issue, yeah. He's I mean, like dude, he's not Batman. He doesn't even pretend he's Batman. So yeah,
You'd think he'd at least make a report about his arm.
yeah, if you see a robot arm, it's all kinds of powers that can defy gravity. Let me know.
Well,
Thanks.
he keeps getting framed for stuff, and you think he'd be
Well,
upfront with the cop. Hey, somebody stole my arm, so if my fingerprints show up anywhere,
he
or
doesn't trust
circuit
the
prints,
police.
or whatever he has.
He was wrongfully accused and wrongfully incarcerated. He doesn't trust the police. I kind of understand this,
Yeah,
but he also stops. He's like he's flying away. It's like he's puzzled by the puzzling sensations about Pamela. Basically
he
gets around Pamela. He's like, I've got these weird sensations now.
he's going from being a machine boy to a machine man.
Yeah, he's truly becoming a machine man now. Yeah,
They're gonna
the
have circuits growing in funny
oh,
places.
that's awful.
You're gonna have to hit the car wash every day now.
Jeez. Yeah, and that's kind of it there for well, no, it's not it that for this section. It goes on to do the Matt the Cat issue, which not a lot happens here again. Matt the Cat and Chronobots they make the most usage of the scenery and not the dialogue.
Yeah, the plots don't move very quickly.
No, at all. So yeah. So anyways,
They pretty much stop beating up the little droid
and
when
they're
he
like, hey,
mentions
so
food.
can I get you an order? The droid, the little droid who was an anagram of the creator's name or a backwards version of it.
Yeah,
He still wants to bring them food. That's what I got out of this entire thing. Like, oh
and
yeah,
that's pretty much it.
we won't beat you up anymore. You want some
And that's
food?
all
Yeah,
Hump cared about.
yeah, pretty much. He's like a Garfield from Wish. It's like actually, Bill the Cat and Garfield had a baby. That would be Humph.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so we get to the next page of Machine Man, and luckily the last page of this issue, we have some thug carrying something under his arm, and he goes into this back room. I guess he knows where that people can like sell like kind of black market goods.
Looks like he's smuggling a fish, like
He
wrapped in brown
does.
paper.
He does. He goes in there, and these guys have like Rorschach from Watchmen.
That's what I put in my notes as reverse Rorschach.
They do. They look like there's really bad reverse Rorschachs. They like these white hoods with like globby ink blots all over their face. But he's like they're like, hey, we don't have time for you. You can't see the boss. We don't care about what you got. And he's like, let me show you. And there's the scene of Machine Man's arm. He's doing like a hang ten thing. It's like, hey guys.
He was listening to some Dio when
He
he lost
was.
his arm. Yeah.
And immediately the henchmen are like, oh, whoa, okay, hey, we'll let you meet the lady, the boss. So get ready. And
And the fingers are in different positions, so it's like the hand is moving.
it does this, and then then it points.
Yeah.
So then we were retreated to like this like kind of cocktail party where at the house of Ms. Sunset Bane. What kind of name is that? Anyways, I'm
Yeah.
assuming I'm assuming that is actually Madam Menace.
Yeah, I'm suspecting that's her as
Yeah.
well.
And that's pretty much it for the issue. You know,
She's hobnobbing with rich people, so yeah, I'm getting
yeah,
a feeling she's kind of like a Selena Kyle.
yeah, I kind of get that feeling. Or
Yeah.
yeah, maybe,
Or maybe Madam Hydra. I don't know.
there you go.
She's
Same whole I guess same feel.
I get that vibe from her, yeah.
Yeah. And
And she's
she's got
talking to like congressmen and mayors and
yeah,
stuff
that's
there.
right.
So
Hanging out with the elites of the city and stuff.
she's the upper crust.
It's the most interesting, was it the most fascinating female you'll ever meet?
Yes.
I
Apparently
mean,
so.
there's next issue I was reading ahead. Someone refers to Pamela as some skirt, or maybe it's
So
this issue at the end of it. I mean, come on, DeFalco. Mm, you don't have to pretend they're like in the 50s and 60s with dialogue like this. You can bring them into the modern era. Some scoit.
yeah,
So
he's definitely got the film noir
yeah,
feel of
all he's
things.
got. So yeah, it was it wasn't a great issue of Machine Man, but it wasn't the worst.
But did you want to save the world is the real question.
Yeah, why not?
Because we've got a certified Ghostbusters club here we can join.
Did they have this in the American comics? I don't remember.
I've never seen this before in my life.
Okay.
But yeah.
So please make me a certified Ghostbuster. Yeah. So you probably got a little card in the mail saying you're a certified Ghostbuster. You got personal membership card, official Ghostbuster metal badge, certificate of anti-paranormal proficiency. So you're proficient in
And
the.
it's from Columbia Pictures, so it's
Oh,
official.
nice. A year subscription to the quarterly newsletter, and this property is protected by Ghostbusters color stickers. So those stickers ended up all over someone's house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
The metal badge has got to be kind of cool though.
oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, that thing's probably worth like $1,000 now. Because no one cared about it. But I mean, just like the flipping Time Warrior watch.
Right? That's how they get you. It's the stuff that nobody buys
Yeah,
that just goes through the roof.
throw this in a box somewhere.
It was like that with the Action Masters, with Transformers, like
Yeah.
for a while there, because like nobody bought them. They all went
Mhm.
to like big lots and stuff. So like when you tried to get them on the secondary market, when everybody started collecting in like the mid to late '90s, it's like those were the most expensive G1 Transformers you had to hunt
They're
down
still
was the
kind of
Action
pricey.
Masters.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
still a little pricey. A lot of the later Micromaster things too, like the Micromaster sets, things like that. The people are starting to lose interest, and the toy line was fading away.
yeah.
It went from like 12 feet of the toy aisle to like 4 feet. Yeah.
There's still like a warehouse of those things somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
Nobody's popped open the crate.
Yeah, let's use in this probably.
It belongs in a museum.
Yeah, my house. Um, Anyways, so yeah, enemy within is starting to ramp up finally, and we're kind of figuring out what's going on. I was actually kind of surprised Braun's story got wrapped up so fast.
Yeah, it seems like we have less Transformers at this point and
Hmm.
more other stuff.
Yeah,
And this issue seemed like it had a lot more going on with that. I mean, between the Transformers story and our World War II fact file and then Machine Man,
yeah.
you
I'm
know,
I'm kind of curious about the Autobot fact file thing. Like, why they use that?
I think that was the only way to tie it in is just put Transformers fact file.
and and no Transformers in it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I
Well,
was
I
kind
mean,
of hoping there'd be like some Guadalcanal thing so I could try to tie it to the Combaticons or something, but
who knows? Maybe soon we'll see that.
yeah.
It just feels like filler stuff. They're just trying to find ways to pad out the book.
And we'll see more of this too in the future.
Yeah.
This little feature carries on for quite a while.
Anyways, so yeah, I'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and call it there. We got two more issues of the Enemy Within to go here. It's it's going to ramp up really nicely, and I took a look. Took a look ahead because I wanted to kind of prepare for like the next couple issues,
Hmm.
and we'll see how this thing progresses. And it's nice to see it's not a very complicated story, but it gets personalities really going in the book.
Yeah,
So
we still have two more parts to the Enemy Within. So
yeah, so I'm sure it'll get better and better. So thanks everyone for being here this week, and we will finish up with the last two issues of the Enemy Within as soon as possible. And Ed, hope you're doing okay out there, man. You take care, and like I
yeah,
said,
take care, Ed.
anyone who wants to get a hold of him, edhatestransformers at gmail.com. And everyone, if you like the episode, give us some stars, give us some likes, give us some follows, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad. I don't care. All right. Y'all take it easy. Have a great week. See you later.